The P. Diddy trial. Let's talk about those shocking allegations, especially against the victim. We're going to be talking about that today. Hey there, I'm Rebecca Zung. I'm a trial attorney. I'm also a high conflict negotiations expert and the author of Slay the Bully, How to Negotiate Against a Narcissist and Win. And today, I want to take you inside one of the most disturbing yet necessary conversations inside our legal and cultural landscape today, which is the trial of Sean P. Diddy Combs. This isn't just a celebrity scandal. This is about an abuse of power, the silencing of survivors, and it's a legal system that's still catching up to the invisible wounds of coercive control and psychological manipulation. I'm going to break down what's happening from a legal perspective and what the footage actually shows, and how what we call DARVO is playing out in real time, and the sickening culture of victim blaming, and why it's time to legally recognize what survivors have known for decades. Okay, so let's talk about the footage that really changed everything here. In May of 2024, CNN released hotel surveillance footage from 2016 that rocked the public. Sean P. Diddy Combs is seen chasing Cassie Ventura, his longtime partner, down a hallway. She's clearly trying to get away from him. He grabs her, throws her to the ground, kicks her, drags her by her hoodie, and throws her around like she's some sort of a rag doll, chilling, and he's clearly trying to control her. It's predatory. And it confirms what Cassie and now others have been saying for years, that Diddy used his wealth, his power, and his influence not just to dominate the music industry, but to systematically abuse and control certainly women and potentially others, right? The fact that this footage was hidden for years shows us something terrifying, that even when the truth is caught on camera, it can be buried, and until somebody powerful decides that it's worth exposing. Now, what is he being charged with? Legally, Diddy is under massive federal scrutiny. Multiple lawsuits have been filed against women alleging rape, trafficking, assault, drugging, manipulation. Homeland Security raided 2 of his homes. The Department of Justice is reportedly exploring RICO charges used to prosecute organized crime enterprises. Here's what prosecutors are looking for: a pattern of coercion, transportation of women across state lines for sexual exploitation, use of fear, money, or fame to silence victims, a support system that enabled his behavior, assistance, security, lawyers, NDAs. This is not just about bad behavior. This is about a criminal enterprise using power structures to perpetrate abuse. Now, let's talk about what we call DARVO in action. And if you've ever dealt with a narcissist or abuser, you've seen this move before. What DARVO stands for is deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender. This playbook reads like a manual on this. Deny means his legal team came out and called Cassie's lawsuit an act of extortion. Deny, didn't do it, wasn't me. Then attack, portray her as opportunistic, discredit her emotionally, and imply ulterior motives. And finally, reverse, victim and offender, position himself as he's the real victim. reversing it, right? Reversing it so that he's the one who's the victim, she's the problem. And he's the victim of media bias, false accusations. Sound familiar? DARVO is psychological warfare. It's what abusers use to confuse the truth, to muddy the waters, to dismantle, to smear the victim's credibility and recast themselves as the one being wronged. Have you ever met somebody, they started off to be the most charming, charismatic person you've ever met in your life, then they turned out to be your worst nightmare, and then when you go to negotiate with them, they're a living hell? Well, I developed something called the SLAY method of negotiating with narcissists, and it has helped tens of thousands of people in more than 150 countries win, go from feeling drained and defeated to getting the outcomes they want. And the reason why it works is because I spent more than 20 years studying narcissism as a trial attorney, and now I'm here to help you win too, and also take your suffering and turn it into your superpower. Take your pain and turn it into profit, peace, and purpose as a highly specialized high conflict negotiation coach. If you want to learn how to do it, then just go to RebeccaZung.com/apply and I will show you how. And here's the depravity of victim blaming. It's one of the most deplorable aspects of all of this. And especially in this particular instance, with this trial, the whole public saw the footage. Everybody saw what happened, what he did. And when they saw the footage, many people said things like, why didn't she leave? She was with him for years. It must have been consensual. She stayed because she liked the lifestyle. This line of thinking is not only dangerous, it's legally irrelevant. Okay, let me be absolutely clear. Consent under coercion is not consent. Compliance under threat is not freedom. And staying does not negate abuse. Often it confirms it. Why do victims stay? Often because they're trauma bonded. They're deeply trauma bonded. And what many people don't understand is that trauma bonds are often physiological because of the dopamine cortisol mix that's going on in their brains. There's so much going on there. Not only that, but there's fear, there's financial control, there's public shaming, so much going on there. And because they've been told that no one will believe them or that the abuse wasn't bad enough to count. And in cases like this, the abuser often doesn't need to say, you can't leave. They've already made the victim believe they can't survive without them. Maybe there is a system of power, or it's not always bad. This isn't about a toxic romance. It's about an alleged system, especially in this particular instance, that trafficked, silenced, and terrorized women. The legal lens that's now shifting from isolated incidents to a criminal enterprise is insane. The feds are examining whether drugs were used to incapacitate these women. Staff members were instructed to manage, pay off, or monitor victims. Threats and surveillance were a part of a broader culture of fear. And if this holds up, this is not just abuse, it's racketeering. And survivors weren't just ex-girlfriends, they're actually even potentially witnesses in a federal conspiracy. I mean, it's beyond sick at this point. My heart goes out to Cassie, but this is not just about Cassie. This is about what's going on with women all over this country, and many are not in a position to speak up in court systems or even still in situations like Cassie's all over this country or in homes. I want to shed a light on this because this is a typical pattern of what happens in abusive relationships. Before we close, I want to talk a little bit more about coercive control. And I do want to make sure that if you are in an abusive relationship, that you know that you're not stuck and that you can get help. And there are hotlines. I'm going to drop the number for hotlines for abuse here. And I also want to make sure that you get my Crush My Negotiation Prep Playbook at winmynegotiation.com, which you can always get for free. Join my free private Facebook group, which you are certainly welcome to do. Get help. Get the help and support that you need. Go to a local shelter if you need to. Do what you need to do to get the help and support that you need to do. And I also want to talk more about coercive control, which is the invisible prison that people just don't know about. And it's that psychological prison that's built through fear, confusion, and dominance. And it doesn't leave bruises, but it certainly leaves damage. And here's what coercive control looks like. It's isolating you from friends and family. It's controlling your money, your career, and your schedule. It's gaslighting you until you doubt your own memory, your own perceptions. It's threatening you. It's shaming you. It's systematically over and over and over and rewarding obedience. It's creating a climate of fear where you're constantly on edge. And here's the legal tragedy so far in the United States. It's not criminalized in the majority of the United States, but other countries do get it. England and Wales have made coercive control a criminal offense. It's been a criminal offense since 2015. Ireland, Scotland, France, and Australia do have similar laws. In the US, only a few states, California, Hawaii, Connecticut, and New York, have begun the process of starting to recognize it slightly. It's not a law yet, but they've started the process. We are far behind here, and survivors are paying the price. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Let's be real. Therapy can feel like a really big investment, but your mental health is just as important as your physical health. Traditional in-person therapy can cost $100 to $250 per session, but with BetterHelp, you can save up to 50% per session on average. You pay a flat weekly fee, which means more peace of mind for less. Therapy should feel accessible, not like a luxury. BetterHelp gives you that, all from the comfort from your home. And with over 30,000 therapists to choose from and 5 million people served globally, this is the world's largest online therapy platform, and you can switch therapists at any time. Your well-being is worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/negotiate today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/negotiate. If you're a renter, you should be taking advantage of Built. We rack up points on groceries, travel, and nearly everything else. So why not one of your most hugest monthly expenses, which is your rent? Because with Built, paying rent finally pays off. There's no cost to join. And just by paying rent, you unlock flexible points that can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and more. When you pay rent through Built, you unlock two powerful benefits. First, you earn one of the industry's most valuable points on rent every month. No matter where you live or who your landlord is, your rent now works for you. Second, you gain access to exclusive neighborhood benefits in your city. Built's neighborhood benefits are things like extra points on dining out, complimentary post-workout shakes, free mats, or towels at your favorite fitness studios, and unique experiences that only Built members can access. And when you're ready to travel, Built points can be converted to your favorite miles and hotel points around the world, meaning your rent can literally take you places. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, what are you waiting for? Start paying rent through Built and start taking advantage of your neighborhood benefits by going to joinbuilt.com/negotiate. That's JOINBILT.com/negotiate, and make sure to use our URL so that we know that you were sent to them by us. So go to joinbuilt.com/negotiate to sign up for Built today. This is my call to action. Now, I did talk about it slightly in my interview with Sam Vaknin, and so you can definitely check out that interview. I highly recommend that. It's Inside the Mind of a Narcissist. And here's what I want you to remember. Victims don't need to be perfect to be believed. And let me tell you, most of the time they're not, because they are in a state of survival. And abuse is not always loud. Sometimes it's a whisper that erodes you slowly. And when someone is, what we call DARVOing you, I don't know if that's a word, but when they deny, attack, and flip the story, you're not crazy. You're being manipulated. While the law is evolving, I want you to just keep pushing. The main thing that you can do for yourself is self-care. Get the help and support that you need so that you can calm your nervous system. Do what you need to do to stay calm, not react from a place of emotion, get into a support system. And that is why I do what I do now, so that I can offer help and support for people. Know that if this video moved you, it empowered you, or opened your eyes, share it, speak up, like it, share it. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell. If you are in a situation that you are needing help, get the help, support you need. You're waking up. This is where your power begins. I'm Rebecca Zung. I offer help and support every day, legal breakdowns, survivor strategies, ways to turn conflict into clarity. Because the justice system may just be catching up, know that they only win if you give in. And today is a great day to start negotiating your best life. You got this.